So, Dillian Whyte has got a short list of opponents. It's either Andy Ruiz, Otto Wallin, or Alexander Povetkin. Let's talk about it. Hey, this is Mike from Edge50 TV talking about Dillian Whyte's future opponents. You probably heard over the last week, Dillian Whyte has given a short list out of potential opponents that he would love to fight. And part of that list is Andy Ruiz Jr., Otto Wallin, and Alexander Povetkin. So we're going to go through the good and the bad of each opponent, and I'm going to tell you what I think, or what I believe he should take as his next opponent in 2020. First up, Andy Ruiz. The plus side of Andy Ruiz is he's a name. He beat Anthony Joshua. He was a unified world champion. And he was the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. He's hot right now from coming off that win of Anthony Joshua back in June, and he is probably the biggest name on the list out of those three names. So beating him and potentially beating him quicker than what AJ did, then that would boost Dillian Whyte's profile higher in the sweepstakes. On the negative side, he's a PBC fighter, and we know how difficult it is for PBC fighters to make fights with other promoters. So that's a big hurdle in itself. Whether they would do that, I don't know. They will want to do that. Potentially have 2 losses with Andy Ruiz back to back, especially when he's hot at the moment. Also as well, Andy Ruiz has got weight issues. He came in overweight against Anthony Joshua, and after that defeat, we don't know if he's got the motivation and hunger and desire to come back in the ring and face someone like Dillian Whyte. So all those are big question marks. Then you've got Alexander Povetkin on the plus side. You know, he's a durable, tough opponent who will give Dillian Whyte a good fight. He's also a name. He's fought all the biggest names in boxing: Valerie Klitschko, Anthony Joshua. You know, and most recently he just fought Michael Hunter to a draw. So even though for his age, he's still fighting at a competitive level. So I think that'll be a good name. I think it'll be easier to make because they're on Matchroom. So I think that's a plus side as well to that. On the negative side of it, he is old. He's 38 years of age. I don't know if he has much left. And number 2 is whether, you know, he'll get the cachet he deserves for beating someone like Alexander Povetkin, because he'll be in the Andy Ruiz camp of you're beating an old guy, beating a 60-year-old guy. So I don't know if he'll get the credit he deserves by beating someone like Alexander Povetkin if he fights him. Then last and not least, you've got Otto Wallin. The plus side of Otto Wallin is he'll come in game. He'll come in wanting to get that win to build his name as well. He just come off a competitive loss against Tyson Fury where he gave a very good account of himself. So people will look at that from the public, and the casual fan will look at that as a decent opponent for Dillian Whyte as his comeback fight in 2020. So all those aspects of it comes into account. And plus, if he beats him and knocks him out, he can say, look, I did better than what Tyson Fury did. And that's a good comparable opponent in regards to a future fight down the line, potentially with Tyson Fury. On the negative side, he has to be prepared to get a lot of stick. Same way that Tyson Fury got stick by fighting Otto Wallin, the same way that Dillian Whyte is going to get a lot of stick with fighting Otto Wallin. Even though he made a good account of himself against Tyson Fury, he's still not a big name, and he is not as big as the other 2. And I don't think there'll be a demand for that fight, and I don't think that fight will be on pay-per-view, which would be a negative for Dillian Whyte because now he thinks he's a pay-per-view fighter. And Otto Wallin, I don't believe he is pay-per-view, whereas with Povetkin and Andy Ruiz, those fights could be on pay-per-view. So, all those coming into consideration, who do I think he should go for? I'll give you the rankings. It's obvious. Andy Ruiz first, Povetkin number 2, and Otto Wallin number 3. The fight that he should definitely pursue out of the 3 is definitely Andy Ruiz, based on the things I just mentioned. The plus points of those alone will make up for it. That can easily be a pay-per-view fight. Is a comparable opponent to Anthony Joshua. He's a former unified world champion. You know, the pluses can go on and on and on and on and on. It can be sold in the States. It can be sold in the UK. There's so many pluses to that fight that it overweighs the negatives. So I think that's the fight that he should pursue. Get Eddie on the phone, get Andy Ruiz, say, look, come back against Dillian Whyte. You know, whether Andy Ruiz has a desire to come back That's another question. But if I was Dillian Whyte, the first option should definitely be Andy Ruiz. Get on that phone, Eddie. Make the phone call and make it happen. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you think it should be Andy Ruiz, or do you think it should be Otto Wallin? You know, I know there's people out there saying Luis Ortiz, but the reason why I'm not talking about Luis Ortiz is because he's not on the short list of potential opponents. So I'm only talking about the opponents that are on Dillian Whyte's shortlist. So out of those, but what's your opinions? Leave it in the comment below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. This is Mike from Edge 50 TV signing out. Anything else you want me to talk about, let me know, and I'm going to talk about it. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you like this content, what you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. That's it. That button right there. The one right there. Hit that subscribe button, because you're going to get more of this content on the regular. Peace.